Tonight, these three teams compete on Academic Challenge.
From West Salem, team number 1.
Northwestern.
From Lyndhurst, team 2.
Rush.
And from Berea, team number 3.
Berea.
For the 22nd consecutive year, Academic Challenge. Brought to you by Ohio Edison and by the Illuminating Company. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Steve Wolford.
Good luck. Good luck, Barry. Good luck, Greg. Welcome to Academic Challenge, where teams test their wits against each other and try their luck with our electronic challenge board. Of our 18 categories, those available in the first round will be sports, men and women, trivia, Ohio, math, energy, history, literature, and by definition. Listen closely as Paul explains the rules for the opening round.
In this round, each team will have 6 questions, and each correct answer earns 10 points. No penalties in this round.
All right, thank you, Paul. Now let's go now and meet the members of Northwestern from West Salem. We have Ernie Frank, Captain Greg Peacock, and Jim Wyant. Greg will put the lights in motion for you to pick your first category. Okay, you've picked energy. And your first questions. This is a choice. In fact, I believe all of these are choice questions. Heat transferred by conduction into a moving layer of fluid is called convection, radiation, or bioconversion.
Radiation.
Convection is the answer. A high-energy photon of electromagnetic energy is called a gamma ray, neutron, or proton.
Gamma ray.
That's correct. Many power plants have scrubbers to remove pollutants from the flow of stacked gases. A scrubber most often removes which pollutant? Sulfur dioxide, hydrogen peroxide, or ozone?
Sulfur dioxide.
That's correct. A British thermal unit, or BTU, is a very small amount of heat equal to 1/4 of a calorie, 6 calories, or 50 calories.
6.
1/4 of a calorie. Nuclei of atoms having the same number of protons but differing in their number of neutrons are known as isobars, isotopes, or heliotropes.
Isotopes.
That's correct. When work is done by a conservative force, the result is mechanical energy is lost, momentum is conserved, or mechanical energy is conserved.
Mechanical energy is conserved.
That's correct. And that's your first round, Northwestern, 40 points. All right, let's go now and meet the team members from Charles F. Brush. We have Mark Lee, Barry Freeman, the captain, and Sundeep Mangla from Charles F. Brush. Barry, we'll put the board in motion for you, and you can stop to pick your first category. And you have Ohio. And your first questions. Cincinnati, the birthplace of professional baseball, was also the birthplace in 1938 of what flamboyant businessman who owns the Atlanta Braves Baseball Club and CNN? Ted Turner is correct. If you wanted to send an anniversary card to Columbus, Ohio to mark the date of its founding, you should do so also on what day when heart-shaped cards are annually exchanged?
Valentine's Day.
February 14th, Valentine's Day. Among the tiny islands near Sandusky in Lake Erie is what dramatically rising 8-acre island that shares its name with a prominent rock at the entrance of the Mediterranean Sea?
Gibraltar.
Correct. North Star, Ohio is the birthplace of Phoebe Mosey, who became world famous as what female sharpshooter with Buffalo Bill's Wild West shows, also the subject of a Broadway musical?
Annie Oakley.
Correct. Ohio has sent more natives or residents to the White House than any other state. Thus far, the total number of presidents from Ohio is what number? The cube root of 512.
6.
8. The answer is 8. Ohio residents are among the most literate in the nation. According to the 1980 census, what percentage of Ohioans is illiterate? Less than 1%, more than 3%, or about 5%?
Less than 1%.
That's correct. 0.8% is the answer on that. That's your first round, 50 points for Brush. All right, let's move now and meet the members from Berea High School. We have Sharon Wasoki, Captain Chris Hall, and James Jett. Chris will put the board in motion for you, and you can stop to pick your category. And you have energy. That's been selected already, so we'll put it back in motion. All right, sports. sports. 2 girls on the team and you get sports. Probably do very well, too. The Los Angeles football team in the USFL has what name that follows the word pony in a fast mail system of the mid-1800s?
Express.
That's correct. The National League Cy Young Award for 1985 went to what young pitcher for the New York Mets?
Dwight Gooden.
Correct. The best free throw shooter now active in the National Basketball Association is, as of November 1985, what Boston Celtics forward from Indiana?
Larry Bird.
That's correct. The famed Henley Rowing Regatta, which originated in 1837, takes place on what river that flows through London?
Thames.
That's correct. Among the top 5 books on the New York Times bestseller list this past summer was the autobiography of what former Yankee baseball slugger number 7? Take a guess.
Lee Iacocca.
Mickey Mantle. Okay. Coach Riley always tried to make me run like I was carrying a glass of water on my head, said what black track star who won 4 gold medals in the '36 Berlin Olympics?
Jesse Owens.
That's correct. That's your first round, Berea. 50 points. Okay, we'll be back with the lightning round, but first, teams, remember, at the end of tonight's match, we'll check the ladder on our Super Bowl scoreboard. At the end of the season, the 3 teams with the top scores will join us for an academic challenge Super Bowl. So far, our highest point totals have been Beechwood with 410, St. Ignatius with 380, and Lake Ridge with 330. And we'll be right back with our very fast lightning round after a word from the Energy Makers.
We've got to live a big dream, helping each other now, finding a way that's better, showing the world just how. We're growing strong together, making tomorrow bright. All of us working side by side, it's the only way to get the job done right. We're the energy makers, the people who make things run. Think of us as friends whose job never ends. We're the people who get things done. We're the energy makers, our job never ends. We're the energy makers, your neighbors and friends.
Before we continue with more questions, let's have a look at tonight's schools. We have Northwestern High School that has 456 students in grades 9 through 12 who hail from Congress, Chester, and West Salem. Justin Carmoni, the team advisor, teaches reading at Northwestern. Northwestern recently received the Frederick H. Krecker Award for Excellence in Science. The school also received all first-place awards at the Wayne County Fair and a Best Show Award. Students from Lyndhurst, South Euclid, and a portion of Richmond Heights attend Brush High School, reports Hugo Zappa, the school's academic challenge advisor since 1976. It was named after Charles F. Brush, developer of the arc light method of street lighting. The school's program for the intellectually gifted uses a team of teachers and weekly seminars with students to provide challenges for these students. Berea High School rewards its top students in some special ways, such as an academic hall of fame that honors the top scholars in the senior class every year. John Yoel, chairman of the Social Studies Department, is the academic challenge advisor. This fall, Berea's achievements were recognized by the United States Department of Education, which honored it among the nation's secondary schools of excellence. All right, it's time now for the lightning round, and we'll have Paul King explain the rules. Paul.
All 3 teams will compete in a visual free-for-all lasting 1 minute. The first team to ring its bell for each item will be recognized. The right answer gets you 10 points, but we'll take away 10 for incorrect answers or failure to reply.
Okay, teams, will ask you to refer to your monitors here in the studio, and before we put the first one up, I will describe what you'll be looking at. You might be caught red-handed in this category round, which lists the persons and things related to the color red. Please identify the following. We'll put a minute on the clock and go. She founded the American Red Cross. Hold the button down, please. Northwestern.
Claire Barton.
That's correct. Genus of trees called redwoods. Northwestern.
Oak.
Sequoia. He wrote Mask of the Red Death. Berea.
Edgar Allan Poe.
Correct. Island discovered by Eric the Red.
Greenland.
Brush. Serve all of your computer needs. Today there are more apples in schools than any other computer, which might just be the best reason to buy an Apple for home. It may never be a better time. In addition to the Apple computer, the winner of our Super Bowl program will also receive a special championship trophy. And we'll be right back with a word from the energy makers, so stay with us.
What is reality? This? Or this? Or this? Today's reality was yesterday's idea. In electronics, the impossible is constantly changing. People searching for a better tomorrow. And it begins with this, electricity. It powers the imagination. Imagination that brought us the microwave oven. The magic of television. Computers that work and play for us. Electricity removes little inconveniences so expectedly we forget they're there. Even cordless devices come home to rest on a bed of electricity. The new, the wondrous, heat from outside air we didn't think was warm. Electrically, we search and heal. We communicate through the innovations of electricity. Electricity is the power of the future. And we're working to make sure there's enough.
Let's recap what that lightning round did for the scores of the teams, then it's back to the electronic challenge board. Paul, explain the rules.
In this round, each question is worth 20 points. But now you may also lose 20 points for incorrect answers or 10 points for failure to reply. Any team answering all 8 questions correctly will gain 25 bonus points. Steve?
Thank you, Paul. Now, from the categories you see on the challenge board, those available in this round will be geography, Hail to the Chief, history, literature, what's missing, science, says who, potluck, and associations. We'll go down to Northwestern. Greg, the lights are in motion, so stop it to pick a category. All right, science. There'll be 8 questions in this round. This is a choice. The decibel is a unit which is designed to measure which one of the following: frequency, loudness, or pitch.
Loudness.
That's correct. Choice also, in fact, all of these are. 2 pieces of freshly cut lead cling to each other when pressed together. They are held together by the force called cohesion, surface tension, or capillarity.
Surface tension.
Cohesion. If a cleanser containing ammonia is used on one room of a house, the smell can spread to the adjoining rooms. What property of a gas is exhibited here? Boyle's law, diffusion, or distillation?
Diffusion.
That's correct. What does a dissolved solid do to the freezing point of water? Does it raise it, lower it, or have no effect?
Lower it.
That's correct. A helium balloon filled to atmospheric pressure is lighter than air because there are fewer helium particles per volume. Each helium particle is lighter, or helium is diatomic.
Each helium particle is lighter.
That's correct. Every day we see a mixture of calcium hydroxide and plaster of Paris. Is it on the ground, inside automobiles, or on interior walls?
Interior walls.
Interior walls. It's plaster. Although the amoeba has no specific sensory mechanism, it reacts when close to food by extending parts of its cytoplasm called cilia, flagella, or pseudopodia.
Pseudopodia.
That's correct. When an alpha particle is emitted from the nucleus of an atom, does the atomic number of the atom decrease by 2, decrease by 4, or remain constant?
Decrease by 2.
That's correct. And Northwestern, that's the end of your round. 160 points. All right, let's go up to brush. Barry, the lights are in motion for you. Stop to pick your category. Literature. You have literature. 8 questions here. When he used the title Giants in the Earth, Ole Rolvag took a line from what first book of the Old Testament?
Genesis.
Correct. A marsupial's tail is part of a kangaroo, but the manciple's tail is what part of what collection of stories by Geoffrey Chaucer?
Canterbury Tales.
That's right. To fit in with our change to the metric system, what science fiction author would have to retitle his work Fahrenheit 451?
Bradbury.
That's right. Although she wrote about travel to foreign lands, what American poet had an aversion to leaving her Amherst home and so died there as a recluse in 1886?
Dickinson.
That's right. Most toasts are made with wine, but in his poem to Celia, Ben Jonson asked that his love drink to him only with what visual organs?
Eyes.
That's right. Peter Stuyvesant's wooden leg was decorated with what precious metal that names the one-legged character in Stevenson's Treasure Island? Take a guess.
Gold.
Silver, for Long John Silver. When Washington Irving described the headless horseman as the Hessian of the Hollow, he was using what literary device that repeats consonants at the start of the words?
Alliteration.
Alliteration. It's unanimous. What nom de plume used by the British writer H.H. Munro is the same as a Japanese wine made from rice?
Sake.
That's right. That's your round brush. 200 points. Okay, let's go to Berea. Chris, we'll put the board back in motion. You can pick your category. Literature, you've matched again. We'll put it back. All right, science. We've got that one also. One more time. Hail to the chief. All right, 8 questions, obviously about presidents. I'll start over. We will win through to absolute victory were Franklin D. Roosevelt's words following the 1941 attack on what gem-like Hawaiian harbor?
Pearl Harbor.
That's right. President Lincoln was the first American president to present what highest military award given by the United States for bravery in the service of our country?
Medal of Honor.
Congressional Medal of Honor, that's right. The U.S. presidents with the longest surnames were Washington, and what 20th century Republican president with a long line of World War II achievements?
Eisenhower.
Correct. William Jennings Bryan was the youngest man to be a major party nominee for president, heading the Democratic ticket when he was what age 1 year more than the constitutional minimum?
36.
That's right. The Vice President of the United States is entitled to a military salute of how many guns? 2 guns fewer than the artillery salute the President gets.
5.
19. 19-gun salute. A bachelor who becomes president...
Our entertainment, convenience, and comfort all begin with electricity. From Beethoven to biscuits to the tiny bulb that glows on her computer. Electricity is at work, quietly, safely. Even heat from the sun is brought into her house by an electric heat pump. No flames, no doubts, the way she likes it. Today's woman, she's light years ahead of yesterday with electricity, the power of the future.
Students appearing on tonight's show will receive a photograph of their team as they appear on the show, and also a special Academic Challenge t-shirt.
Welcome back to Academic Challenge. While we recap the team scores on the screen, Paul will give us the rules for the upcoming time capsule round.
We now have a special round of 2-part video questions. Each pair of questions is keyed to a clip from a historical newsreel. Teams will be in direct competition. Each part of the 2-part question is worth 10 points, and there is a 10-point penalty for incorrect answers. Don't forget to hold your buzzer down if you wish to answer.
Thank you, Paul. Okay, teams, refer to the monitors in your studio again, and hold the button down until you're recognized, all right? And we'll put the first time capsule on the screen for you. Okay, in August of 1947, Britain ended its rule of India, and that subcontinent was politically divided between the modern nation of India and what other country? Brush.
Pakistan.
That's correct. All right, the second half of the question. Among those managing this transfer of power was what last British Viceroy of India related to the royal family? This earl was murdered by a terrorist bomb. Berea.
Mountbatten. Lord Mountbatten.
That's correct. Okay, we'll put the second time capsule up on the screen for you. All right. In June of 1963, there was a dramatic confrontation as federal officials enforced a court order desegregating the University of what southern state? Northwestern.
Alabama.
That's right. Your second half. This confrontation took place on the State University campus in what Alabama city whose name suggests a long, badly attached ivory tooth on an elephant? Northwestern.
Tuscaloosa.
That's right. Okay. To the third time capsule, please. All right, and your first question. Here in some vintage films is what great American songwriter, now 97 years old? Northwestern.
Irving Berlin.
That's right. And the second half. One notable...
Myself, 10 cents.
For the electricity, 10 cents.
How much for the ingredients?
Oh, just a few dollars.
A few?
Couldn't carve worth beans till I got this. Now for a penny, carved a turkey, a ham, bread, a banana.
All right, now the teams face their final competition as we move along to the grab bag. But first, I'll recap the scores for you. Right now in third place, we have Berea with 120. In second, Northwestern with 190. And Brush leads right now with 210 points. All right, in the grab bag, teams gain 20 points for every correct answer. Miss or fail to answer, 20 points are deducted. Are you set to begin? Okay, here we go. Washington State's 2 national parks are centered around Mount Rainier and what other peak named for Northwestern?
Oh, gosh. Olympia.
Olympus. Olympus. In 1848, the black ironsmith Lewis Temple invented Temple's toggle, which soon became the standard version of what spear-like weapon used for hunting whales? Berea.
Harpoon.
Correct. To stand in both the northern and southern hemispheres at the same time, a person would have to straddle what? Northwestern.
Equator.
That's right. The first amateur golfer to win a PGA tournament in 29 years is what Oklahoma State student who won the Western Open title this past August? Scott Verplank. A new Australian stamp honors Blinky Bill, a fictional example of what so-called bear that lives on Northwestern?
Koala.
That's right. The letters AS spell the simple word as, but when used chemically, they stand for what element? Northwestern.
Arsenic.
Correct. Long-chained molecules are made of polymerized alpha amino acids linked by peptide bonds are proteins, ketones, lipids. Brush.
Proteins.
Correct. Despite differences in size, the baobab and basswood would both be classified by what title of poem by Joyce Kilmer? Brush.
Tree.
Correct. The American Indian thundercloud, portrayed in a number of frontier paintings, belonged to what tribe whose name suggests they had dark pedal appendages? Northwestern.
Blackfoot.
Correct. What is the cosine of a 450-degree angle? Brush.
0.
Correct. Among those permitted to see the Holy Grail because he was pure was what square knight of the Round Table, the son of Sir Lancelot? Berea.
Galahad.
Correct. Often heroes of the 1920s romanticized in such novels as Beau Guest rode camels as members of what famous French desert? Northwestern.
Foreign Legion.
Correct. Birds have often been pictured on U.S. postage stamps, but a recently issued stamp pictured both birds and what saint who preached to the birds? Brush.
St. Francis.
St. Francis of Assisi is right. Actinium is a radioactive element, but the Battle of Actium in 31 BC proved an active element in the rise of what first Roman? Brush?
Augustus Caesar.
Correct. A recent book by Williamson Murray has been admired as a thorough study of what German Air Force of the Second World War? Northwestern.
Luftwaffe.
That's right. If a person with a $9,000 income gives $450 to charity, what percent of his income is spent for this purpose? Brush.
5%.
That's right. If the signs of the zodiac should appear in alphabetical order, what water bearer would lead all Northwestern?
Aquarius.
That's right. In the English system of measurement, the slug is a unit of
Mass.
brush.
Mass.
That's right. You won't find graffiti mentioned in the Bible, but handwriting on the wall does appear in what biblical book named for the devout Jew cast into the lion's den? Berea.
Daniel.
That's right. 3 enlightened monarchs who ruled in Europe at the same time were Joseph of Austria, Frederick. That's the end of the round. Okay. Let's quickly recap the scores right now. We have Berea in third place tonight. Northwestern is in second place with 310. Brush in the back with 350 is tonight's winner. Let's move along now to the Super Bowl scoreboard and see if tonight's winner, Brush, has a big enough score to win itself a place on the ladder. 350 points does do the trick. Brush goes into third place, beating out Lake Ridge with 330. Congratulations, Brush. Be sure to catch Academic Challenge next week when our panelists will be from Harding School of Warren, Lorraine Southview, and Harbor High of Ashtabula. Until then, I'm Steve Wolford.
Academic Challenge has been brought to you by the Illuminating Company and by Ohio Edison.
RTA stresses safety with double the maintenance checks of 1982.